Hi students, welcome to SPSVERSITY. This is Suresh, Biology faculty. So let us discuss about human health and diseases. What is meant by human health? What is health? A health is a condition where physically, mentally and social well-being. Health doesn't mean only you are physically fit. Physically, mentally, socially well-being. When you are in this, your work will be an efficient work. So there will be an increase in productivity, which reflects on economic prosperity. Okay. So health increases the lifespan of the people. So lifespan can be increased, reduces infant and maternal mortality rate. Okay. Health has a lot of impact on our daily life as well as it has impact on our economic growth, on productivity. How it is uptime, how the health is uptime. By taking balanced diet, personal hygiene and regular exercise. So these are very important for healthy lifestyle. So there are a lot of factors in the healthy lifestyle, like taking balanced diet. So when you take a balanced diet, like fruits, vegetables, milk, meat, where it provides all the nutrients. So whatever the nutrients required for our health, they are provided by balanced diet. And maintaining personal hygiene. So personal hygiene means taking care of your body. So washing, like bathing, clean lines of your surroundings. So cleaning of our surroundings, cleaning as well as our body. So personal hygiene. Regular exercise, which keeps your body healthy. Okay. Like doing various fitness exercises, yoga, will help in achieving good health. So to achieve a good health, so we should take all these precautionary measures like balanced diet, personal hygiene, exercise leads to a healthy body. Okay. So when your body is healthy, that is, the mind influences through neural system, endocrine system, immune system to then affect our health. So when you take our body, the mind will influence the neural system, endocrine system, immune system together, which will affect our health. So what are the factors influencing health? So there are a lot of factors in there, which we discuss under three main criteria. So one is genetic disorders which come by heredity, like sickle cell anemia, hemophilia, color blindness. Infections which are caused by the microbes like bacterial, viral, fungal infections. And lifestyle, that is food, the water which we take, the rest, exercise and the habits. Okay. So to obtain a physical health, so we need to do a regular physical activity, a balanced diet, that is good nutrition and adequate rest. So physical activity, nutrition adequate diet will help to attain physical health. And these are the factors which are affecting the health. Okay. So when you come to characteristics of a good health, okay, a person is having good health. It means that is you are free from sickness and diseases. You are free from unnecessary anxiety, that is emotions, controlling your emotions. Okay. Social and psychological tensions, self-confidence, feeling joy in living, and work efficiently. If all these characters are satisfied, it is considered as a good health. Health means, it doesn't mean that you are free from diseases, you are not suffering with any diseases, you are not ill, you are not sick. But not only physically, mentally, as well as social well-being. Social well-being means your behavior with the society, with the people in the society also will have influence on your health. So it is also considered as one of the factors for good health. Okay. And our health is affected by many diseases. We know very well, every day we are coming in contact with many diseases, like which caused by microorganisms. So what is disease? The disease is where it interferes with the normal functioning of the body, which makes unease. If you feel unease or uncomfortable, so uncomfortable, and when you feel you are not working, that is you are not able to work properly, this all will come under, that is disease. So what are the different types of diseases? Like congenital diseases, which are by birth, inborn and genetically inherited diseases. Like as already we discussed, that is hemophilia is one of the disease. Okay. And next, color blindness is one of the disease. Okay. So when you take color blindness is one of the disease which comes by birth. Okay. So hemophilia, color blindness, which will affect. Acquired diseases, that is after birth. So during the lifespan, so whenever we are facing an health issue during the lifespan, so they are called, okay, it is called acquired disease. Okay. So you'll see here the congenital diseases. What are these congenital diseases? These diseases due to gene mutation. Like as already told, hemophilia, color blindness, which are caused by birth. Chromosomal mutations like Down syndrome, Klinefelter syndrome, which are due to the change in chromosome number. So here there are congenital diseases which may be of genetic, which may be of chromosome. Come to acquired diseases. So acquired diseases means diseases which are caused during our lifespan. Okay. That is, diseases which are caused by the microorganisms, they are called communicable diseases. So communicable diseases means like which are caused by bacteria, virus, protozoa, helminth, fungus, which will spread through various vectors, that is air, water, food, contaminated. And the non-communicable diseases, that is non-infectious diseases, like hormonal deficiency diseases like diabetes, which is due to lack of insulin. So insulin will affect the diseases, that is, it will cause, due to lack of insulin, it will cause diabetes, arthritis, cancer, allergies, asthma. These all are non-communicable. They don't spread from one person to other person. Vitamin deficiency diseases, mineral deficiency diseases, these all will come under non-communicable diseases, hormonal deficiency disorder. Communicable means which are caused by, that is, the microorganisms. And when you come to infectious diseases which are caused by the microorganisms. So when you come to infectious diseases, an infectious diseases that is caused by, that is, when you come to infectious disease. Okay. A disease is caused by, that is, which may be due to excess or deficiency or absence, that is called disease agent. Generally, if you take microorganisms like bacteria, virus, fungi, protozoans, helminths, which cause disease, they are called pathogens. Pathogens means which cause disease. And generally, pathogens are parasites. So they are parasites which live on host. That is, they take the nutrients from the host. As they take nutrients from the host becomes weak, and which leads to diseases. And it may cause, this disease which is caused by microorganisms, it may be transmitted through various forms. And once if it enters, it will multiply and interfere with normal body activities. Okay. So here when pathogens enter into the host means which will depend, that is, which will provide the nutrients to the parasites, it is called pathogen. So here, when you come to this pathogen, when they enter into this, they show some adaptations so that it can survive in the host environment. So here if we come to the host environment, there are a lot of factors in the host which will prevent the entry of microorganisms. Like if you take the stomach, the pH value of stomach will be 1.6 pH, which will kill microorganisms. Like this, there are many other barriers also, like skin. Okay. And to all these pathogens are adapted to overcome these barriers and these conditions in the host and start surviving in the host, which will lead to causing of diseases. Okay. So here when you come to the diseases, and these diseases which are caused by these microorganisms, it is caused by bacteria, viral, protozoan, fungal, as well as, that is, when you come to helminth. So we'll discuss about a few diseases which are of more concern, and like typhoid, which is caused by bacteria. Typhoid is caused by bacteria, Salmonella type. And it spreads through, that is, it enters through our human body by contaminated food and water. Okay. So from small intestine, it will enter into other organs through blood. So that means through blood, it reaches to various parts of the body. Initially, it enters into digestive system. Later on, it enters through intestine to various parts. So what are the symptoms for this? Sustained high fever, weakness, stomach pain, constipation, headache, loss of appetite, intestinal perforations. If it is not properly treated, it may cause intestinal perforations which leads to death. That means, as and when the disease is not properly treated in proper time, it may lead to severe health issues which may lead to death also. So how to diagnose this typhoid? It is diagnosed by a test called Vidal test. So Vidal test is a diagnostic test to perform, that is to identify the typhoid disease. And when it comes to the history of typhoid, a cook called, that is Mary Malone, her name is Mary Malone, she is a cook and she is nicknamed as Typhoid Mary. Why she is named like this? That is, as she is a typhoid carrier. She is a cook. Okay. So, and she started to continue to spread the typhoid through her cooking profession. That's why she is called typhoid carrier. Unknowingly, she has spread the typhoid by her cooking process to many of the people for several years. So she doesn't know she is suffering from typhoid. Due to this, she used to spread the disease to whomever she was cooked, they used to get the typhoid. Okay. So here you can see, that is through contaminated food and water. So when we take unhygienic food and water, it causes to spread. Okay. And you can see loss of appetite, abdominal cramps, diarrhea. Diarrhea means loose motions, 39 to 40 degrees fever, nausea, vomiting sensation. Okay, which will lead to vomiting sensation. So like this, it leads to a lot of severe disorders which may lead to even death if it is not properly treated. And next, when you come to another disease, that is the pneumonia, so which is caused by a bacteria, that is Streptococcus pneumonia and Haemophilus influenza. Two species of bacteria cause pneumonia. And it spreads through droplet infection. So droplets means whenever a person suffering from this disease, when he sneezes or whenever he coughs, the bacteria comes in the form of droplets which are released into air. And even when they fall on the utensils, the things which are shared by a person will infect the other person. So it is called droplet infection. And the disease developed by causing this infection, that is whenever it enters through respiratory system, that is it enters through nostrils. And through these nostrils it enters into the respiratory tract. And ultimately it reaches to alveoli. And due to the infection, alveoli get filled with fluid, which leads to fever, chill, cough, headache. And even the lips and fingernails turn to grey to bluish in color. So here you can see these are alveoli, normal alveoli, but these are pneumonia alveoli, which are filled with fluid. Due to this filling of this fluid, it leads to symptoms like, that is respiratory symptoms, that is respiratory issues like fever, chill, cough, cold, which leads to this. So it affects the alveoli of the respiratory system. Next come to common cold, so which is caused by virus, that is rhinovirus. So here when you come to this rhinovirus, it spreads from one person to other person through cough or sneeze or by contaminated objects. So contaminated means person who is suffering with the specific cold, if he touches the things of the healthy person touches the things of this person, he may get this. So in this common cold, only the respiratory passage, the nose, respiratory passage are infected, not the lungs. Okay, both lungs, common cold and pneumonia, both are respiratory, which will affect the respiratory system. But in this, only the nasal passage, the respiratory passage is infected, not the lungs. Okay. So due to this, what happens is it leads to nasal congestion, sore throat, cough, headache, tiredness. And it will remain for 3 to 7 days. Okay. And there is a belief that there is no common cold has no cure. Okay. So here you can see symptoms like you can see fever, aches, body pains, chill fever, tiredness. These all are certain symptoms. So which is caused by the virus, that is rhinovirus. And next, when you come to malaria, which is caused by a protozoan, that is Plasmodium. And this Plasmodium vivax is one species, Plasmodium malaria, Plasmodium falciparum. So Plasmodium falciparum causes malignant malaria, which may lead to death also. And it spreads through the bite of female Anopheles mosquito. So by bite of female Anopheles mosquito, it leads to those. And it targets red blood cells and liver. The symptoms are fever, chill, and vomiting. So here you can see this is the female Anopheles mosquito. It is a vector which will carry the disease. That is, the disease is transmitted through this vector, that is the female Anopheles mosquito. So here you can see the headache, fever, fatigue, tiredness, pains, chills, sweating, dry cough, spleen enlargement, nausea, which leads to vomiting. Okay, so here you can see such type of cases, symptoms. So here when you come to this, the life cycle of malaria. In this life cycle of malaria, you can see there is a bite, through which, in this bite, the malaria enters into human body in the form of sporozoids. So it is the form through which the malaria enters into human beings, that is sporozoids. So through blood, it reaches to liver. So in liver, it starts reproducing asexually. That is, in liver, it shows asexual reproduction. Okay. And in this asexual reproduction, the liver cells are damaged. And this parasite undergoes asexual and releases into blood. So liver cells get damaged. From liver, gradually the parasite will infect the RBC, that is, the red blood cells, which are infected by the Malarian parasite. Okay. As the Malarian parasite infects the red blood cells will burst and release a harmful chemical, that is hemozoin. And due to this hemozoin, frequent fever, that is, we can see frequent spike in temperature. So here there is a spike in temperature, frequent fevers or spike in temperature in malaria is due to release of hemozoin when red blood cells burst. Okay. And this, after this, they will form the sexual stage, that is gametocytes. That is, they will form female gametocytes and male gametocytes. So that is, when you take the life cycle of malaria in humans, it carries out asexual life cycle. After asexual life cycle, when again mosquito bites, the gametocytes will enter into mosquito. In mosquito, these gametocytes will form gametes, that is, male is formed which develops into the young one. So again, sporozoids are formed which will escape from. So this is how the life cycle is seen in the plasmodium. Okay, liver or damage. So the life cycle, that is plasmodium, enters into the humans in the form of sporozoids, which will multiply in the liver. Later on, they will attack RBC, and they will release hemozoin. Due to this, the fever will increase. Okay, and remaining part of the life cycle is completed in female Anopheles mosquito. Okay, and next, when you come to the life cycle, that is next disease, that is amoebiosis, which is caused by protozoan, that is Entamoeba histolytica. So it is transmitted through Entamoeba histolytica is transmitted through, that is the feces of infected person, through mechanical barrier, that is through house flies, which will move from one place to other place. Due to this house flies, the water is contaminated by fecal matter, and the target is large intestine. The symptoms are the constipation, abdominal pain, cramps, stools with mucus and blood clots. Okay. Here the target organ is large intestine, where it gets affected through the mechanical carriers, house flies will carry that. And next is Ascaliosis, which is a helminthic disease, which is caused by helminth, that is Ascaris lumbricoides. It occurs through consumption of contaminated water, fruits, vegetables. Contamination takes place through feces. Okay. And the target organ is intestine. In intestine, there will be bleeding of intestine, muscular pain, fever, anemia, blockage of intestinal passage. So here you can see this is Ascaris female, this is Ascaris male. Okay. Which enters into intestine through contaminated food and water, which cause the constipation, the muscle cramps. Okay. So here Ascaris is an helminthic disease. Ascaliosis is an helminthic disease which is caused by Ascaris. And next is helminthic disease is elephantiasis, which is also called filariasis, which is caused by Wuchereria bancrofti, or it is called, another species is Wuchereria malayi. And it spreads through bite of female Culex mosquito. That is, it is female Culex mosquito. Malaria is caused by female Anopheles mosquito, but it is caused by vector female Culex mosquito. What are target organs? Lymphatic vessels, lower limbs, genital organs. Like testes is one of the targeted organs. Lower limbs which are affected. Okay. This is the Culex mosquito. On the bite of female Culex mosquito, it leads to the disease. Okay. So it leads to, what are the symptoms? The inflammation of organs. It continues for many years. So lymphatic vessels will appear due to swelling of lymphatic vessels. It appears like elephant, like that. Why it is called elephantiasis. Even we can see the swelling in genital organs, the deformation of genital organs. So here you can see. This is elephantiasis, where the lower limbs are swollen and which remains for lifelong, for many years. So here you can see the mosquito bites where it enters into the humans, the lymphatic system. Okay. And it produces microfilaria which enters into lymph. Okay. So this lymph will form larvae, and this larvae again enters to this. Okay. So this Ucheraria bancrofti will affect the lymphatic system, the genital organs and the lower limbs. So due to this lower limbs, the infected they become swollen due to accumulation of lymph. Next is the fungal disease, the ringworm, which is caused by Microsporum trichophyton epidermophyton. Okay. So it spreads through soil as well as through using the towels, clothes of infected person. And the heat or moisture, there are parts in our body like groin where there are moisture, okay, which will, okay. So target organs are skin, nails, the groin, toes. Wherever the infection is there, there are dry, scaly lesions appear, which leads to itching. So here you can see on the skin, nails, fingers, we can see there are red colored spots, which is nothing but a ringworm which will cause the disease. Due to this, we can see a lot of itching, uncomfortable, uneasiness. Okay, till now we have discussed about infectious diseases like bacterial, viral, helminthic, protozoan, fungal disease. How to avoid this disease? How to control, prevent the diseases? Okay, when it comes to the diseases, there are diseases which are spread through food and water, airborne, vector-borne. Food and water means you can take that is through contaminated food and water, typhoid. Airborne, common cold. Vector-borne, malaria. So which are caused, malaria is through vector-borne. Malaria, elephantiasis, these all are vector-borne. So how to prevent food and waterborne diseases? That is, you should maintain proper hygiene, cleaning, drinking water, fruits and vegetables before consuming. Proper disposal of waste. Okay. Maintaining standard practices of hygiene so that you can avoid the diseases like typhoid, amoebiasis, ascaliosis. Personal hygiene as well as that is the public hygiene is required. And when it comes to airborne diseases, okay, airborne diseases means like if you take pneumonia and common cold, they spread from one when they come in contact with the infected person. So personal hygiene is very important. And next one, vector-borne diseases like malaria, okay, elephantiasis, dengue, chikungunya, these are vector-borne diseases. Okay. So controlling and eliminating the vectors of their breeding places. That means there are many places in our surroundings where mosquitoes can breed and complete their life cycle. Like the surrounding water stagnant areas. Okay. Coolers, the household coolers. Okay. So there are many places in our surroundings where there is stagnation of water. On the stagnated of water, mosquitoes can survive and complete their life cycle. Okay. So we should prevent that is the stagnation. We should see that there is no stagnated water in our surroundings, so that the mosquitoes cannot complete their survivals. Using mosquito nets so that mosquitoes cannot enter into our house. Cleaning of our household coolers where there is chance of the stagnated water present. So in ponds and like lakes, A fish called gambusia is released, which will feed on mosquito larvae. Okay. Spraying of insecticides in the ditches, drainages, swamps, so that mosquitoes cannot survive. And a wide mesh, that is mosquito net, should be there. Okay, which will prevent the entry of the micro, that is the insect mosquitoes into our house. Okay. These are all, that is, the preventive measures. Vector-borne diseases, air-borne diseases, food and water-borne diseases. And these diseases can be prevented even by vaccines and immunization. So taking vaccines, like there are vaccines for smallpox, polio, diphtheria, pneumonia, tetanus. So by using biotechnology, we are able to develop new vaccines. Like now, which has developed the corona vaccine. Okay. Whenever we get any disease, we should use, that is, the antibiotics. Nowadays, a lot of antibiotics are available. Okay. Penicillin, azithromycin, like a lot of antibiotics are available, which for treating of infectious diseases. Okay. So when we get the disease, we should take the proper treatment by taking the proper antibiotics prescribed by the doctor. So like this, we can prevent the diseases as well as the treatment of diseases. So till now we discussed about the infectious diseases, their prevention and control. So let's follow us SPSVERSITY on social media. Okay. So our body, which can able to tolerate these diseases. That is, our body is able to fight against these diseases. Now at present our body is host. Every day our body will come in contact with disease causing organisms. Every minute we are in contact with disease causing organisms. Either through air, food, water or through vectors. But even then, our body has an ability to fight with these disease-causing organisms. We don't get diseases every day. Frequently, okay, you may get often when you are young, we may get when you are infant, we get later on the immunity will do. So immunity is the ability of the host to fight the disease-causing, to fight against disease-causing organisms. So this immunity plays an important role to protect our body from getting diseases. So there are two types of immunity. One is innate immunity and acquired immunity. Innate means which comes by birth. Acquired immunity means which develops after birth. That is, after birth we can see there is a development of immunity. Okay. When it comes to innate immunity, which comes by birth, whenever a baby is born, they have some immunity by birth. It is called innate. And this innate immunity, there are different barriers. Barriers means which will prevent the entry of pathogens, that is the foreign agents into our body. So barriers means which will prevent the entry of the foreign agents into our body. When you take the barriers like physical barriers, one is the physical barriers. So skin is one of the physical barriers which will prevent the entry of foreign body. Mucus which present in our organ systems, like in our respiratory system, in our nasal passage, okay, which will prevent the entry of the foreign bodies. They are called physical barriers. Come to physiological barriers, like HCl, which is secreted in stomach, which will kill the microorganisms. Saliva, which is in the mouth, which will have the enzyme lysozyme. saliva, the TS from eyes has an enzyme that is lysozyme, which will kill bacteria. So these are physiological barriers. So the acid in the stomach, that is HCl in the stomach, the tears, the saliva in the mouth, which will kill the bacteria, that is, which will prevent microbial growth. Cellular barriers, that is WBC, which will find, they are called polymorphonuclear. In this WBC, there are polymorphonuclear leukocytes, that is, they are called neutrophils, monocytes, lymphocytes, macrophages, which will destroy microbes. So these all are cellular barriers which will fight with the foreign bodies. Cytokine barriers, they come into specifically only during viral diseases. So whenever any virus infection occurs, the infected cells will secrete a protein that is called interferon, which will protect the healthy cells from viral infection. So interferon is a protein which will protect the healthy cells from the viral infection. So these are the barriers which are present in our innate immunity. So innate immunity is non-specific and they has barriers like physical, physiological, cellular barriers and cytokine barriers. Now come to immunity and its types. Okay. So we have immunity, that is innate immunity and adaptive immunity. Adaptive immunity can also be called as acquired immunity. Acquired or adaptive immunity, the more or less same. So when it comes to acquired immunity, it may be by natural as well as artificial. So natural means from mother, maternal means from mother. The antibodies to the baby by feeding of the baby. Active by infection. Artificial by antibody transfer and by immunization. So that means when you take acquired immunity, again in this there are two types, that is natural, artificial. In natural, passive, active. In artificial, passive, active. So welcome to SPSVERSITY, follow us on social media. Acquired immunity. So it is very specific, whereas innate immunity is not specific. In acquired immunity, when first time when the pathogen enters into our body, that is whenever it enters into the first time, our body will respond slowly and it is called primary immune response. It will be very low intense. It is not that much heavy, but whenever the same pathogen enters into our body for the second time, it will be very highly intense. That means it is very fast and high intense. It is called secondary immune response or anamnestic response. Why second time it is fast and why the first time it is slow? That is during primary immune response, why it is slow? Why in the secondary immune response it is fast and very high intense? The reason for this is during primary immune response, memory cells are synthesized, which will remember the pathogen. So that means as and when any foreign body enters into our body, the pathogen is represented by the memory cells. So as and when second time the same pathogen enters, it will be very fast, it will respond very fast and the action will be high intense. So this is the basic principle behind the vaccination. So vaccine is nothing but an attenuated or dead pathogen. So when it is injected into our body, first it will show primary immune response. So vaccines will cause primary immune response. So whenever the same pathogen enters into our body for the second time, our body will act fast and it will protect our body from the infections. Okay. So when it comes to the acquired immunity, it is of basically two types. One is antibody mediated immunity, or it is called humoral, and next one is cell mediated immunity. And in this acquired immunity, there are two cells that is involved, that is B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes. B means bone marrow. Okay. Which mature, the lymphocytes which mature in bone marrow, they are called B lymphocytes. And the B lymphocytes which mature in thymus, a gland which is near to heart, they are called T lymphocytes. B lymphocytes will produce antibodies, and T lymphocytes will help to produce, and they help B cells to produce the antibodies. What are these antibodies? These are antibodies or proteins which will fight with the antigens which enter into our body. Okay. So when it comes to antibody mediated immunity, that is humoral immunity, whenever any pathogen or any foreign body enters into our body, it causes primary and secondary immune response. During this process, immune response, B lymphocytes will identify the foreign substance and will produce army of proteins. These are called antibodies. Antibodies are nothing but proteins which will fight with the foreign body. That is, they will fight against the pathogen. Okay. What T cells will do is help the B cells to produce antibodies. And these antibodies are released into blood. That's why it is called humoral immunity, or it is called humoral immune response. Humoral means blood. So here you can see, this is an antigen. It may be of anything, a bacteria, virus, or fungi, whatever it may be. So this is lymphocyte which produces antibody. This is antibody. Antibody will interact with antigen and finally it kills the antigen. So here you can see humoral immunity. Whatever the antibodies are secreted, okay, they will fight with antigens and they will lead to neutralization or lysis. Splitting of antigens, phagocytosis, the consumption of these antigens. Ultimately, the antigens are killed. And when it comes to antibodies, what are these antibodies? They are produced from B lymphocytes, which are nothing but proteins. They are made up of 4 polypeptide chains. That is, 2 heavy chains and 2 short light chains. So these 2 are light chains and these 2 are heavy chains. That's why it is called H2L2, 2 heavy chains. H means heavy, L means light. It is called the H2L2. So if you take the diagram of an antibody, so 2 light chains, 2 heavy chains. This is the place where antigen bind. This is called antigen binding site. And in between this, the 2 heavy chains and the side chains, there are disulfide bonds which will bind the heavy chains as well as light chains. So antibodies will play a major role in our immunity, that is called antibody mediated immunity or humoral immunity. And when it comes to cell mediated immunity, which is mediated by T lymphocytes, macrophages and neutrophils. So whenever T cells identify the infected cells it will secrete a protein called cytokine, which will disrupt the infected cell. Okay. So, by secretion of this cytokine, it will help the B cells to form antibodies. And this cell body immunity plays, that is cell-mediated immunity, plays an important role in transplantation. So whenever there is an issue like a kidney damage, you can see the kidney transplantation, now heart transplantation, even brain transplantation, liver, eye, such like things. And this, whatever the transplant, that is the graft which is taken for transplant, it is obtained from the close human being, either relative or any other animal. Our body will not accept it, it will reject. So to avoid the complications, we do tissue matching, blood grouping matching, suitable donor. Even then, the cell-mediated immunity will not accept this. To overcome this, the people, that is the patients who has undergone transplantation, they should take immunosuppressants. Immunosuppressants means which will suppress the cell-mediated immunity. Which will suppress the cell-mediated immunity. Okay, that is, when you take our body immune system, it can differentiate which belongs to our body, that is self, and which doesn't belongs to our body, that is non-self. So it has the property that is to differentiate which is the self and non-self. So cell-mediated immunity plays an important role in transplantation. So here you can see T cells, whenever they come in contact with the base, they releases granules. Okay. So here you can see these granules will induce cell destruction and the virus cannot replicate. Okay. It is histocompatibility protein. Okay. So this is a virus infected cell. Okay. Which leads to the destruction of virus infected cell. Okay. And in acquired immunity, that is, as we discussed, that is, there are what we call antibody mediated immunity, cell body, CMI, humoral immunity. In acquired immunity, whenever we get any infection, like in our daily lifespan, we will getting many infections in our lifespan. So whenever we are exposed to antigens, it will activate the immune system and release antibodies. Okay, anyway, it will be slow for the first time. It takes some time to get effective response. Okay, so here when you take the active immunity, okay. Here the active immunity, it is, if you take the active immunity, it can be induced by vaccines. Okay. So whenever microbes can enter into our body, the T cells and B cells, that is T cells will help B cells to release antibodies which will kill the microorganisms. This happens in our body, which our immune system will respond and release antibodies. But what about the passive immunity? Here, directly antibodies are induced into our body. Is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. That is, through colostrum, immunoglobulin A, this is one type of antibody which enters through colostrum, that is through mother's milk. And through placenta, that is when fetus is there in the mother's womb, through placenta, IgG is an antibody which enters into the fetus. So when we come to vaccination and immunization. So vaccination is based on the property, that is memory cells which are synthesized during primary immune response. What is actually vaccine? Vaccine is nothing but a part of pathogen or inactivated or weakened pathogen introduced into our body. Whenever these vaccine is introduced into our body, we get primary immune response by which memory cells are formed, which will remember the pathogen. When second time the pathogen enters into our body, they will neutralize. Okay. So here, the antibodies will neutralize the pathogen during the subsequent infections. That is, during vaccination, memory B cells and T cells are formed, which quickly remember the pathogen. Okay. And nowadays we are getting many vaccines, like by using recombinant DNA technology or DNA technology. A lot of vaccines are produced against many diseases, like hepatitis B, which is produced from yeast, which is a recombinant vaccine. So vaccine is nothing but directly we are inducing the what we call, that is the antigen or part of antigen, protein of an antigen, weakened antigen or attenuated antigen. What is immunization? Where it is used? So here when you come to immunization, to make immune system strong, whether artificially or naturally. That is artificial passive immunization, natural passive immunization. If you want quick immune response, that is directly antibodies are injected. Okay, like immunoglobulin G and okay. Artificially, okay. Here, when you come to artificial passive immunization, whenever there is a snake bite or like a tetanus, venom, whenever there is a snake bite, venom is injected. That is antitoxin venom is injected, which is nothing but antibodies. Where there is a need of the immediate treatment for tetanus, for snake bite, where antitoxin venom is injected into it. So it is an artificially passive immunization where antibodies are directly injected. But naturally, when you take through immunoglobulin A through colostrum, immunoglobulin G through placenta, this is passive. When you come to natural active immunization, whenever chickenpox infection comes, obviously in our body antibodies are synthesized. So that's all about the vaccination, the principle of vaccination, immunization, and next the types of immunity, what we discussed, different types of diseases, bacterial or viral. Next, that is protozoal, helminthic, fungal diseases, prevention and their control. What is health? Follow us on the social media. Thank you all. We'll meet again.